Jay Morgan, and I've known Ed for a little over 10 years. Well, my initial contact was when I was looking to do my roof. I was looking for someone local that could come in and give me a fair price, and so I had Ed over, and since then I've had Ed back on numerous jobs, and he's always been fair and reasonable with me. Ed's very interesting because when you first meet him, if you get numerous bids, you'll have some people show up in brand new trucks and all sorts of literature and this and that, and Ed shows up and he's a hardworking guy, and you can tell right away when you meet him that he's got calloused hands, and you know that this is someone who really does real work for a living. And he doesn't have a lot of fancy paperwork. He's just true to his word. So Ed is Ed, and from the first time he worked for me, he made some pretty good promises, and he's kept every one of them. 10 years ago, again, I started having him do the roof, and he did a good job, including haul away all of the materials, because there was 2 levels of asphalt on the roof. So as much of the job was the taking stuff off as it was putting the new on. And then after that, Ed came back and I had him do the deck in the backyard. I have a 40-foot long deck made out of Trex, and he contracted to do that for me. He also did my chimney. Chimney needed to be, it took it right down and built it right back up. He also does small jobs for you. I have trees in the yard that needed trimming, and of course, unless you have a vehicle to haul it away, it's quite an effort. But Ed said, fine, I'll come on a Saturday. So he would show up on his day off, or a day that it was raining and he couldn't be doing his roofing, and he'd climb up the trees and trim the trees for me. So he's really a handyman. He'll do anything you ask. When I wanted to do my resurfacing of my pool deck, he offered to do that. And that's the only job he didn't do, because I did that one myself. I would always recommend Ed to people to at least get a quote from him. He comes to you with the idea of solving a problem for you. And for me in particular, I didn't have tremendous resources, so I guess that's why the more expensive quotes that I would get really weren't that attractive to me. With Ed, he would ask you, would you like to have me quote the whole job? Would you like to have me just quote the labor? And so on a couple of the jobs that I've had him do here, he did the siding on my house as well, which was a huge job. I failed to mention that one. I bought the material myself. I could do a pretty good deal, and I priced it out, and I bought the material myself. So he'll work with you any way you want. His real goal is to do a good job and make a little bit of money. He's not trying to retire off you, or he's just very, very reasonable, and he's always told me, go get your other quotes. So after I get my other quotes, he sits down with me, and each time he's always been the person I've chosen.